Hi there, it's Catherine here from Inky Finger Cat, and tonight's card is featuring Jingle Bells. So I used this large woodware word stamp and I stamped it twice using VersaFine ink in Black Onyx, and now I'm using my Promarkers to colour. I had a couple of different ideas on how I wanted to colour them, but I ended up with an ombre look. For the two different colours. One of them's onto berry vanilla and the other one is onto white cardstock. I unfortunately didn't really wait long enough to for the ink to dry before I started the colouring, so we do get a bit of smearing of the black ink into the colour, but by the time I've added all the other layers of colour it really doesn't matter. Apologies if you could just hear that, it's my daughter going off to bed. We've got a very squeaky door. So as you can see, at this point I was doing sort of like every other letter in a different colour, but you'll see I soon start to change that up when I start to add the ombre, so you won't even notice that this is how they all started. So I just chose a few different green colours from and a few different blue colours from my stash of Promarkers. Wasn't really thinking about them being particularly good at blending with each other or anything like that, because I don't have the biggest selection, so it was just choosing some greens that were nice and bright, from that very pale sort of lime colour all the way through to sort of a very grass green type colour. And at this point I realised that doing ombre on every other letter with a different colour scheme wasn't going to kind of work, so I carry this on for a minute, and then you'll see by the end of it they all just end up looking fairly similar. So by this point I'm now starting to blend them out by using the lighter colour over the top of each of them, so you can see each letter actually looks fairly similar rather than them being every other colour. Because my stamping wasn't quite straight and I'd gone off the edge on a couple of the sides, I decided to just trim down the panel a little bit more, and then add black line, and this, it's important to use not a Pro Marker at this point because you don't want it bleeding, just to go around the edge. And then I did the same with the blue, but unfortunately I didn't get all of this on video because my camera cut out and I hadn't realised. But again, I did the same thing and added blues going out from light to dark, leaving the palest colour in the middle. So at this point I've done both of them and I'm just deciding how I want to finish off the cards. So I decided to create an ombre panel for the green that sort of coordinated with the way that I'd coloured the letters. And the best way to do that was of course to use the same Promarkers. So it's not a perfect idea, but especially not because a couple of my markers are actually quite dry now and need they don't really do refills, so they just need replacing. So this was me deciding what I wanted to do. So I decided that I would cut that down into smaller strips and then choose how I wanted to finish my cards off. So I actually chose some green cardstock and I used this for the green card just as a simple background, didn't want to do anything special on it, and decided that that would work quite well with one of the strips. I actually experimented with both, but I decided on this one that if I kept it in keeping with the other panel, which had got a black outline, that would work really well. And on this I decided that actually what would be really good was if I was to do that panel there, but with some additional stamping. So there are some Jingle Bells in the stamp set, so I decided that the best thing to do would be to stamp some Jingle Bells. So I stamped quite a few across on this panel and was umming and ahhing about whether that would work, but no, it wouldn't. So I then decided to stamp direct onto this, which was obviously risky because I'd already stuck it down, and then the panel over the top. I then decided that the letters needed a little bit of sparkle, so out came the Winker Stella. Actually, is this the Winker Stella one? That might be the Nouveau, the Tonic Glimmer pen. I don't actually know which one that is. Either way, it's a sparkle pen that adds just some really nice shimmer and shine onto the letters. Now for the other one, I actually had this piece of photo paper that I'd been wiping up some Distress Oxides on, and it was the perfect colour match, especially with that green as the cardstock base. It just worked perfectly. So that's what I decided to mount this on. So I kept it really simple layers, and with that little pop of green around the outside, that just really works super on there. And then I again went with my Winker Stella and added the shimmer all over the letters. And then as a finishing touch, I decided to use those little stamped Jingle Bells that I'd got and cut out a couple and just added those as embellishments. I didn't want to do anything particularly dimensional, so I just added foam tape to one and the other one I just stuck down with my tape runner. But it just gave it enough of a pop and enough of an embellishment to finish off the card. I'm drew in that green again. So they're my finished cards. I hope you enjoyed those. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more. Until next time, bye.